the heart of Greek mythology, a bitter tale of fate is hidden, a story that breaks the boundaries between life and death. It is the story of Persephone, who was dragged into the dark world of the Underworld, marking the beginning of a new chapter in human destiny. In an era when nothing but peace lived within the heart of the earth, Demeter, the great goddess of agriculture, lived in a corner of the world. She was not only the mother of the earth, but also the guardian of life and fertility. In her hands, every seed she planted turned into a plant, and every grain of hope she scattered in the soil blossomed into fruitful life. As a goddess, she had a sacred duty to nurture the earth, nourish humans and animals, and maintain the flow of life. But among all these responsibilities, Persephone, her daughter, was the greatest gift Demeter had given to this world. Persephone, Demeter's daughter, was like a fresh spring in the heart of winter. Her beauty shone like wildflowers in the meadows, and every step she took awakened nature from its slumber. She was the spirit of youth and vitality. Her hands were soft and innocent, always picking flowers and enjoying the beauty of nature. The world for her was full of colour and light, and her heart was drawn to the most carefree joys of life. But nothing stays simple forever. Deep within the earth where no one ventured, Hades, the king of the underworld, lived in the endless and cold darkness of the realm of the dead. He, the brother of Zeus and Poseidon, ruled his kingdom in the land of the dead. But deep in his heart, he always felt loneliness. After ruling in the shadows and darkness for years, he desired something beyond power and sovereignty in the underworld. Hades wanted something that was rare, even in the land of the dead: life. And this inner desire led him toward Persephone. One day, in the flower-filled meadows, as Persephone was picking flowers, the earth beneath her trembled violently. Suddenly, a deep crack appeared in the ground. Hades' chariot emerged swiftly from the darkness. Black, terrifying horses with flaming manes sprang out of the earth and ensnared Persephone in the grasp of the shadows. Before she could even scream, she was pulled down into the earth amidst flames and smoke. Hades, like a deadly shadow, embraced her and carried her in his chariot to the realm of the dead. In the underworld, Persephone faced a dark, cold world, filled with shadows, a place where nothing was alive. No sound could be heard except for sorrow and silence. Hades took her to a grand, abandoned palace, a palace where nothing existed but cold, lifeless walls. But this was only the beginning. Persephone was forced to stay with Hades. Not only was she recognized as the queen of the underworld, but she also had to surrender to his rule in the realm of the dead. Hades, who had originally schemed to obtain her, now took pleasure in having such a queen by his side. He looked at Persephone as a queen, but in reality he had her in captivity. Persephone, who had always lived in the bright, lively world above, was now in a place where only tyranny and coldness ruled. Meanwhile, Demeter, the grieving mother, who valued nothing more than her daughter, began her search for Persephone. When she realized that her daughter had been kidnapped and taken to the realm of the dead, the world around her fell apart. As the goddess who nurtured the earth, she could no longer maintain life. The plants withered, the rivers dried up, and even the sun stopped moving. Nothing grew on the earth, nothing birthed, and the world fell into sorrow. Demeter, in her pain and ignorance of her daughter's fate, not only brought nature to a standstill, but also plunged the world into mourning. But nothing could stop the mother. She continued her endless search for her daughter and finally appealed to the other gods. Zeus, unable to see the world remain in this state, negotiated with Hades and decided that Persephone must live between two worlds, half of the year in the underworld with Hades and the other half above with Demeter. This decision was made to ensure the return of spring and life. With Persephone's return to the world above in the spring, the earth came alive again. Flowers bloomed, plants turned green, and the world above returned to light and life. But when winter came and Persephone returned to the underworld, the earth once again fell into slumber, and nature was left to itself. This endless cycle, flowing between two opposing worlds, would continue forever. Persephone, who was now not only Demeter's daughter but also a queen who walked between life and death, told the story of freedom, captivity, death, and life in every season. And thus, life and death were always intertwined. If you want to hear more of these incredible stories, subscribe to Heavenly Stories and join us on a journey through the world of myths